start. That was weird. Don't know what that was all about, but I think I got it sorted. 'Twas strange, for sure. Right. We are almost ready. Oops. I don't know why my screen keeps trying to do that, but I really got to figure out how to turn that setting off. Makes it very difficult. Ah, shit, I did this wrong. You know, one would think that I would get better at this. Well, I have, in fairness. But my computer has some very annoying settings. I can't quite seem to figure out how to adjust properly. Shane Matthew, you're back, I see. All right. Okay. All right. I have been trying to cover this story for a while, and I'm finally, I think, going to get time now to do so. So, the Prairieland 7 were people that were protesting at the ICE concentration camp in Prairieland, Texas. They were recently sentenced to over 50 years for some of them. So a group of Texas protesters convicted of terrorism charges received unusually harsh sentences of at least 50 years in prison on Tuesday in a closely watched case that was widely seen as a test case of the Trump admin's efforts to crack down on dissent. Keep in mind that the January 6 terrorists and pedophiles have gotten lighter sentences than these people. Welcome back, Jane. Lighter sentences than these people. Even the people that got convicted of seditious conspiracy, which is one of the harshest penalties under the penal code, got less years than these people. People who literally wanted to destroy the government, that's the charge, got less than people who wanted to distribute zines. Kind of fucking crazy. To a 3-week jury trial, the 9 activists were all found guilty of a slew of criminal charges in March, stemming from a 4th of July protest at an immigration detention facility in Alvarado, Texas, south of Fort Worth. Texas, man, what a shithole. The demonstrators arrived late at night with a plan to set off fireworks as part of a noise demonstration to show solidarity with those detained inside. A few of the protesters spontaneously broke off from the main group and vandalized cars in the parking lot, a guard shack, slashed the tires on a government van, and broke a security camera. Now, so many people are already going to be like, oh no! Oh! They did a bad thing! Oh my god! They vandalized property! I'm going into Trump, I don't know what's going on with the hands. They vandalized property! Oh no! Oh no, they vandalized property! It's property. It's fucking property. Meanwhile, in these detention facilities, the ICE Nazis are literally raping the prisoners. They're beating them. They're violating their rights. They're denying them rights to attorney. They're denying them their calls, and they're feeding them maggot-filled bread. But you want to give me shit because, oh my god, a tire got slashed? Fuck off. I have said this repeatedly, that we're going to have to come down. Oh, Shane, you are a Nazi. Fuck you, dude. You're out. You're out of here, loser. Shit. 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 Hang on. Dealing with that Nazi fucked up my chat. There we go. There we go. Okay, got it working again. So yeah, I do not care if these, in anything, if anything, this is saving lives because this is more money spent on repairs rather than money spent on being able to kidnap people in this country. So yeah, I don't give a shit about this. They're devil people. Shane, you can't just throw around R slurs and not expect me to, like, be pissed at you, dude. You're fucked up. Tavi Bukemli says, is this the priest hotline? You will need to call the Trump White House for that. I hear they have a lot of pedophiles in there. That seems to be where they're all hiding out. When a police officer arrived on the scene and drew his weapon, one of the activists fired an AR-15 from the woods, hitting the officer in the shoulder. The officer survived. Keep in mind, this has shown more discretion here than any of the mass shootings that we've seen from police, whether it be against... Same with the ICE Nazis. They murdered Renee Nicole Good. They murdered Alex Preddy. None of them. They murdered, here in L.A., they murdered Keith Porter Jr. Yeah, dude, Shane, you said the R slur. That's not what we're talking about, dude. Calypso B for breakfast. Oh, we got Calypso. The MAGA pedophile is back. Welcome, welcome, Calypso. I'm so glad you could take time away from scouting your local children's playground to be in my chat. I'm so glad you're here instead of prowling the streets being a menace to society. I'm looking forward to your mugshot at Nuremberg. So again, this shows more. And the guy, not only did the cop survive, but he shot him in an area where it's probably least likely to bleed out if you're shot in the shoulder here. It's incredible restraint compared to where these other pigs have just shot 50, emptied an entire clip into one person because they were fleeing the scene when there was absolutely no fucking reason for it. All right, thank you, Shane. Appreciate it. Benjamin Song, who fired the gun at the police officer who was sentenced to 100 years in prison. Song was convicted of attempted murder of an officer of the United States, as well as firearm and explosive charges. He was also convicted of riot, providing material support to terrorists. He faced anywhere from 20 years to life in prison. This is horseshit, because that was not attempted murder. He was trying to save someone's life. The pig was about to murder someone, and he stopped them from committing a murder. So this man is an actual hero. I don't fucking pull punches on this shit. The cops murder people every single day and never even get a goddamn citation for discharging a firearm, let alone an actual murder charge. So no, I'm not going to condemn this. Absolutely fucking not. I don't think anybody should. I've been saying this forever, that there's going to come a time where heroes are going to stand up against this fascist Nazi pedophile regime, and we're going to have to make a choice. Are we going to support these people, or are we going to cower under our desks and let the Nazis just run roughshod over us, just like fucking Chuck Schumer is? I know what I'm going to do, and it's not going to be under my fucking desk. Zachary Evans, Autumn Hill, Savannah E. Batten, Elizabeth Soto, and Megan Morris were sentenced to 50 years in prison. Another demonstrator sentenced to 70 years. All 6 were convicted of riot, providing material support to terrorists and explosive charges. Yeah, so they tried to get these 4 people on attempted murder, and they couldn't even get that from a Texas jury. So that should show something about how the strength of these charges are fucking weak as fuck if a Texas jury can't even get people on, what was the charge they're trying to get? Providing material support to terrorism. No, I'm sorry, an attempted murder. They couldn't even get them. Oh, Jack Ripper, not National Socialists are you guys. You are the pedophiles that are trying to deport people that look different than you. You're trying to make Germany great again. So Jack Ripper, nice try, but you outed yourself as a MAGA pedophile. Welcome to the chat. Please stay and shut the fuck up so I can do my stories. William Sellers 7334, welcome. I wonder if it's going to talk about, yeah, they were unusually long, said Barbara McQuaid, a former federal prosecutor, served as U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan during the Obama administration. Most often, judges will sentence defendants for separate counts concurrently. Here, it appears the judge stacked the sentences for each count consecutively. I would have expected lengthy sentences here, more in the ballpark at 15 and 25 years, but nothing like 50 to 100 years, she wrote in an email. The Trump admin praised the sentences. I'm not going to read from the Nazis. Hey, Jack Ripper, you can read what your pedophile Trump said in this statement, though. You can go ahead and read that. Jane Lloyd, welcome. In a statement, Song said he had fired at the police officer, Lieutenant Thomas Gross, because Gross had his weapon drawn and Song believed he was about to shoot a protester. This is key. We keep seeing this happen again and again, where the pigs are able to just pull out their guns, whip out their fucking firearms, and they can shoot indiscriminately and murder, maim, and harm other people with no repercussions. This guy tried to stop a mass shooter from happening. The only difference is this mass shooter wore a badge. That makes no fucking difference to me. If you're going to murder people who are there to advocate for the people that are being tortured by ICE Nazis, yeah, I support them. I never want to see good people standing for what they believe in gunned down in the street, he said. Now 21 people have been arrested, have been persecuted, have been punished for knowing me or being my friend. This is wrong. This is mass punishment, collective punishment. This is guilt by association. This is injustice. Evans, a mechanical engineer, said in court on Tuesday the intent of the fireworks is solely to get the attention of people held inside the detention center. He intends to appeal his conviction and sentence, said Patrick McLean, one of his lawyers. Again, you don't have to support the actions. You don't even have to agree with the actions, but you have to support that these people, the simple fact is they are standing up against a Nazi pedophile regime and trying to free political prisoners of this evil regime held in concentration camps. I absolutely support that. I 100% support the goals. You don't have to support the methods. You don't have to support the people even. But you do have to support that these are people being railroaded by a fascist Nazi government. Julia Laura, welcome. Is it going to talk about sentences were absurd, said Amber Laurie Barton's sister. Lies and misinformation exceeds. Yeah, here it is. The punishment for the protesters exceeds the lengthiest prison sentences given out for the attack on the Capitol on January 6. Enrique Tarrio, the leader of the Proud Boys, who was convicted of seditious conspiracy, was sentenced to 22 years in prison. Stuart Rhodes, the leader of the far-right group of the Oath Keepers, was sentenced to 18 years in prison. House 5/8 next to their name says, I am, you're a white devil. I may be a white devil, but unlike your pedophile viewer, I am not in the Epstein files. So, thank you. I'm glad I'm a white devil and not a Trump pedophile. I will take that, good sir. I don't know if this story talks about all the bullshit. Punishment of the protesters, even though many of the protesters did not know each other or were loosely affiliated. Time premeditated. Yeah, that's bullshit. They also said, I mean, how could it be premeditated when the only reason they shot is because the pig tried to pull his gun? They also said the activists were part of a North Texas Antifa cell. Sure, whatever, which is seen as part of the animals, blah, 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 blah. Project displayed group messages from some of the defendants in which they planned the protest and discussed bringing firearms and dressing in all black, which, by the way, this is 100% protected activity. This is absolutely protected under the First and Second Amendments. It's amazing how we went from, don't tread on me, to, may I have more boot to lick, sir, from the MAGA pedophile party. Some of the defendants, like Batten, Elizabeth Soto, and her husband, Inez Soto, were not involved in the planning, arrived separately at the protest, and then left when guards at the facility asked them to do so. So even when you follow the instructions, right, they're asked to leave, and they leave. Even when they follow the instructions, they're still railroaded by this pedophile Nazi regime. What's the point in not going all the way? What's the point in not fighting back? What's the point in not pushing everything that you've got if you're going to be punished anyway? That's the question that a lot of the people in this situation are probably going to find themselves asking. By doing this, by punishing people who actually followed exactly what the guards, if you want to call them that, did, you are setting up the scene for more radicalization, for more potential for violence. These people should have been acquitted immediately. I want to say more on that fact because this judge is a fucking punk-ass bitch, but I don't know if the story is going to cover it in more detail or not. Let's see. Morris stayed in the van. Many of the protesters are carpooled in with a cache of weapons and body armor while the protest was ongoing. She later fled from police when they arrived on the scene. She was ultimately arrested after a traffic stop that night. Prosecutors in the case charged and secured conviction. 8 of the 9 defendants. Blah, 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 blah. 9th defendant, Daniel Sanchez Estrada, was not at the protest, but was convicted of corruptly concealing a document or record after prosecutors said he moved left-wing signs and other materials at the request of Rueda. So this, same thing. This guy wasn't even involved in it. All he was doing was handing out fucking magazines. He was handing out fucking pamphlets. He's handing out fucking flyers. What are they going to say? Oh, paper cuts of mass destruction now? This is fucking ridiculous. Sanchez Estrada was sentenced to 30 years in prison on Tuesday. I worked really hard every day in this country, and I believe in human rights and helping others in need. I donate money and art to help animals and other people. I'm a father, a husband, and a teacher, but I'm not a terrorist, Sanchez Estrada said in court before his sentencing. Although the charge does not require prosecutors to prove a connection to any kind of terrorist ideology, only that a defendant provided support for one of a list of several crimes, the Justice Department spun the conviction as proof that Antifa was a terrorist organization. If they were a terrorist organization, why did the pig live? Like, they intentionally shot him in the shoulder so that he would live. This is the dumbest fucking logic imaginable. It's more of the Trump pedophile regime, just up is down, left is right, black is white. Linda Cobb Talbert, welcome. And again, if it was a terrorist organization, you think they would have brought fireworks? They brought fucking fireworks. I'm sorry, I forgot where Al-Qaeda used fucking fireworks to bring down the trade centers. So sorry, I forgot the part where the Oklahoma City bombing used bottle rockets. Yeah, that's terrorism, all right. Using fucking sprinklers. Jesus Christ. Sparklers, excuse me. The defendants in the case are a collection of activists who were loosely affiliated. During the trial, prosecutors highlighted many of the designs of the blah, 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 blah. Was met with widespread criticism. Legal observers said that the amount of criminalizing freedom of speech. Yes, that's also important. Prosecutors also focused heavily on the cache of guns that many of the defendants owned and some brought to the detention center on July 4th. Keep in mind that they intentionally said they were bringing the guns as weapons of self-defense, whereas the MAGA pedophile party on January 6th absolutely said they brought the guns there as a staging point before they were able to take over the government. That was their plan. That was their stated objective. That was their goal. TDOS 79, welcome. It's undisputed that all the firearms were brought legally and that there was only one person who fired a weapon on July 4th. Prosecutors also highlighted other evidence they claim proved the protesters planned violence, including their decision to communicate and auto-delete messages on Signal, which is also kind of a default setting on that app anyways, an encrypted messaging platform widely used among activists, journalists, and other citizens wary of government surveillance. Okay, so it's not going to charge, it's not going to talk about the... It's not going to talk about the judge's corruption in the case and basically taking bribes from the prosecution, but we'll come back to that. Examples of what the FBI included as evidence in Antifa terrorism in the Prairieland case. Narcan spray, anarchist tattoos, a highlighted copy of Emergent Strategy, a zine made of a 2019 review of Hereditary and Midsummer, which are fucking movies, by the way. And I've seen both of these movies. I don't see what they have to do with fascism. First aid kit, seeds for garden, vegetables. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous. Bro got 30 years for being part of a book club and handing out pamphlets. Welcome to fascism, everyone. Don't forget to look out for each other. Yeah, see, so I already covered this. Collection of activists who were loosely affiliated with one another through a local left-wing book club. So, I wonder if this one will cover the judge's corruption. It's the day after Mother's Day. The first one, Elizabeth Soto, has spent apart from her 3 children. Sitting in jail in Wichita Falls, Texas, her face is washed out by the overhead fluorescent lighting, and her dingy jumpsuit blends into the cinder block walls surrounding her. Speaking through a glass separator, she tells me that she celebrated the holiday with her children over the jail's video call system while they had dinner at their grandmother's. This goes into... Let's join the further small group from... held a nighttime noise demonstration setting off fireworks outside the Prairieland Immigration Facility south of the city is in solidarity with detainees. A few protesters broke away and spray painted graffiti on employees' cars and security posts, slashed tires, blah, 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 blah. Police officer right at the scene, drawing a gun. An armed protester shot her rifle, hitting the officer on her shoulder. The officer, it was a woman that made the shot. That's crazy. I was not expecting that. Misogyny detected. I thought it would be a man that fired the shot. It was a woman. It was a woman. Shit. My misogyny got the better of me there. I made assumptions. I assumed her gender. My fault. After a 3-week trial, a jury found 8 of 9 protesters guilty of providing material support to terrorists. Blah, 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 blah. Attention to appeal. Prairieland case was the first case. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, another mega pedophile is here. Blue Crusader 9136. Typing an entire biblical paragraph in all caps. You definitely are not triggered that your Fuhrer is a pedophile. Good job for you voting for the molester-in-chief. Hey, how many children do you think he's raped? Do you think it's only 5, or do you think it's more like 50? How many? Hey, Blue Crusader 9136. How many times is Trump in the Epstein files? You don't know, do you? Yeah, because you're a Nazi pedophile. A lot of these people are also just bots. Fuck them. The Commissioner of the Prairieland defendants has shocked legal and is not only chilling speech. Total 22 people have been charged in connection with the protest. 5 minutes. Yeah, I don't think... Okay, so I don't think any of this shit talks about the corruption of the judge. Yeah, I don't think it talks about that. Oh, here we go. Precedent set. While the government said protester Benjamin Champagne's song fired directly at the officer with the intention to kill her, 20 showed footage from the shooting that suggested the song fired at the ground as a warning shot or an attempt to distract the officer, raising doubt that she intended to shoot him. Defendant supporters have hired an investigator to further study the evidence released from the shooting. So yet again, I mean, how are these terrorists if they're firing warning shots? Terrorists! Notoriously known for warning shots. We know that for a fact. As we saw with all these neo-Nazis shooting up schools and black supermarkets, the first thing they do is say, hey, you make sure to run. Bang, bang. Get out of here. Get out of here before I start shooting. Get out of here. See, they didn't leave. Now I have to start shooting. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous. Unfucking believable. Oh, a lot of people on TikTok. Welcome. Here it is. During the trial, the judge refused to let the defendants enter a self-defense plea. Song, a former U.S. Marine, was the only one convicted of attempted murder of a government employee and discharging a weapon. Even when you're a veteran. This is why, hey, vets, if you guys are MAGA, it does no fucking good for you to support them. Because even if you're a vet, they're still going to railroad you. And by the way, even if you're a vet, they'll still try to deport you. We've seen American citizens who are veterans be deported simply because they looked non-white. There you go, veterans. All your backing of Trump got you royally fucked. In a statement issued after she received 100 years federal prison, Song wrote that she brought her weapon out of fear. Law enforcement heard killing in cases. This is wrong. Some of the defendants, including Song, were part of the social rifle, such illegal gun, blah, blah, blah. First aid kits was... Okay, so it looks like this isn't going into it, but essentially the judge completely fucked with this case. So he, like, granted basically every single motion the prosecution wanted, and none for the defense. And then when the first jury trial was set, he disbanded the jury and resat a new jury because he was worried they would not get a conviction. That is not someone interested in the role of justice. That is a political activist wanting a decision made on politics, not based on the facts of the case. This is anti-rule of law. You can't do this kind of shit and not expect more things to go wrong further down the road. And this is why pack the fucking courts. I'm so sick of these limp dick Democrats running from this talking point. You need to be packing the fucking courts. You are accomplishing nothing. You literally can get nothing done if you refuse to pack the courts. Packing the courts is the only plausible scenario to getting back to rule of law. Because when people who are trying to literally overthrow the government via seditious conspiracy and people who are just handing out fucking flyers for a book club are given the same amount of time is bullshit. That is fascism. It is here. Fascism is here. Wake the fuck up, America. Stop clinging to your goddamn pearls, liberals, and start joining the fucking fight. Or if you're not going to join the fight, get in the back of the fucking line, support us so that we can. But stop stabbing us in the fucking back while you're there. Because we're just here to give you free health care. We're here to give you a living wage. We're here to give you housing for all. And every time you fucking liberals get involved, all you do is stab us in the back and try to get people deported. Just like you did with the fucking first protesters against ICE, against the Nazis, against Israel. You guys targeted us for it. Prowlcat 50, welcome. And this is also a good reason why the protester was legitimately afraid of these pigs. This LAPD cop just resigned after being caught participating in online conversations regarding child sexual exploitation. Again, this pig was trying to rape a child while off duty on 4 occasions, participating in inappropriate online conversations regarding child sexual exploitation. This person resigned. So yeah, they're totally innocent. That's what you do when you're innocent. Oops. This pig was literally trying to rape a child. And not only will they not face charges, even if they did face charges, they would not face nearly the kind of the amount of prison time that these people were for handing out fucking book club flyers. Don't tell me this is not a two-tier justice system when shit like this is happening, when pedophile pigs can literally try to rape children on the job and nothing happens to them. Also, this is what those people were protesting.
Months of recovery, all under the cloud of federal charges. More than 3 million people viewed this social media post. A Minneapolis man accused of assaulting federal officers during Operation Metro Surge. Our Connor White introduces us to him tonight, now that the case against him is dismissed.
Most of our interviews start with the same question. Can you please say and spell your name?
Paul Johnson, P-A-U-L-J-O.
But Paul Johnson found himself stuck, a lingering side effect of a brain injury that he says he suffered at the same time his shoulder was torn.
These are all...
Oh, David Amalia says I have TDS. You're the one on your fucking knees for a fucking pedophile like Trump who wears makeup. You're blowing a dude that wears makeup. You guys are so triggered by this flag over drag queens, and yet you guys bend over a fucking barrel and spread your cheeks for a pedophile, fat-ass orange rapist who wears a wig. You fucking losers.
Orthopedic scars.
He says federal officers gave him those wounds in late January when he was tracking ICE vehicles in his Minneapolis neighborhood. Bystander video that Johnson sent us appears to show officers striking him in the front seat of his truck.
There's no doubt in a person's mind when you're being beaten like that, that your life very well could be over.
Federal prosecutors charged him with assault after a special agent claimed that he'd followed the officers
Pride to
and
you,
threatened
Alabama
them
anarchist.
before violently resisting arrest. This week, prosecutors agreed to dismiss this case.
So not only was he beaten and abused by ICE Nazis, they tried to spin it and turn it on him, and they were so fucking bad at it. They had such little evidence that they then had to drop the case. This is why the Prairieland 8 brought firearms, because these pedophiles, these Nazis, get to beat them with impunity. And then they're never going to face charges for this violent fucking terrorist attack by this occupying gang of pedophiles called ICE.
Agreed to dismiss this case.
Do you feel sitting here that justice has been served for you?
No.
Why not?
I would have rather gone to court. I would have rather seen them have to show up, have to explain their actions.
He's talking about what he...
I don't know about that, brother. Man, I mean, even if you'd gone to court, you got a jury, and it might be some dumb schmucks on there. You just don't know. I mean, bold. The brass balls. The brass balls on Baldy here wanting to take him to court. Oh, man, that's a man with more the confidence that I wish I could have, and I have hair.
To explain their actions.
He's talking about what he describes as the beating and what happened after his arrest. He says agents kept him shackled to his hospital bed for 5 days at HCMC, where agents told him he could not make phone calls or contact family. Pam Bondi, serving as the...
See, this is the kind of shit that I'm talking about. This is clear violation of American rights. We have guaranteed constitutional rights they were supposed to be able to exercise and to use and to have, and they are completely obstructed by pedophile supporters like Pam Bondi. So yeah, no fucking wonder that the Prairieland 8 brought body armor and guns, because there is clearly, to their eyes, no other options to defend themselves. When the courts are not allowing you, when the courts are not taking in Nazi terrorists like this, and instead prosecuting men like this, and then, ooh, oopsie, by the way, drop the charges, there is going to be pushback. There is going to be problems because we no longer have a rule of law in this country. And when you don't have rule of law, shit goes bad very quick. Stewart 2004, Nazis. Oh, it's a pedophile. Stewart 2004. We found another MAGA pedophile using the R slur. Hey, you're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. Hey, Stuart, how does Trump's boot feel all the way down your fucking throat? Do you feel like Riley Reid for men? Is that how you feel when you just throat goat that shit? Karen Pizzuto 61, welcome.
General at the time, then posted a photo of Johnson and other defendants with similar charges on social media, a post with more than 3 million views. A situation that Johnson struggles to come to terms with. He's now one of 6 featured by Bondi who have had their charges dismissed, but the feds aren't shying away from charging others. As prosecutors announced indictments against 15 people who they say violently targeted law enforcement during Operation Metro Surge, charges that U.S. Attorney Daniel Rosen says will stick, as he signs off on dismissing the case against Johnson, adding that the government will investigate the allegations he raised.
A note for the future. The prosecution's motion is to have this dismissed without prejudice. What that means is these same charges could be brought forward against Johnson again in the future. The defense, Derek, is of course...
So that explains it. That's why he wanted to have his day in court, because the ICE Nazis are trying to just dangle this over his head to, keep a level of stress on him, keep a level of, fear around him. So that does make sense that he wanted his day in court. Kitty, welcome. No, you got here plenty of time.
That they should all be done away with permanently, though it's a decision that the judge will also ultimately make.
Yeah, and all of that will take some.
So again, yeah, I see why the Prairieland 8 brought weapons and body armor, because you don't know what these ICE pedophiles are going to do. You just don't. And this is also what we're fighting against. This is why they're doing this kind of shit.
This is a letter that a girl named
Rob Mac R7V says all gays are fascists. So you know a lot of gays? Are you one of those people that crashed the crashed Grindr during the RNC? Rob Mac -R7V. Is that you? The RNC is in town, so you load up Grinder. Just swiping right till your fingers fall off, right, Rob Mack? It's amazing how much gay people are on your fucking mind. I don't think about gay people because I don't, they're here. And I live in fucking Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles, or like in a neighborhood of gay people, and I think about them less than you MAGA pedophiles do. What does that say about you guys? You guys are so fucking deep in the closet. You're in the place where the fucking socks disappear to. You found all the socks. That's how far deep in the closet you are. You are where all the lint gathers.
Valentina Paz wrote while she was in the detention center. This is a translation.
A lot of MAGA are closeted gays, so it checks. Always Kitty Lifestyle, every single time.
Mr. Vice President. Valentina says that she missed her school, her friends, and her grandparents, writing, "I don't feel good in this place."
So this is what they say. It's a 6-year-old, 7-year-old. It's a 7-year-old girl held in ICE detention. I don't feel good in this place, saying she misses her school, her friends, and her grandparents. If you cheer this on, you are just a bad person. Like, you're probably also a Nazi. You're probably also a pedophile. But in your core, at your soul, it is just this rotted, decrepit shit stain that looks worse than the reflecting pool. That's who you people are if you think a 7-year-old girl is worth punishing. Even if the parents did something awful, the child does not deserve to be punished with them. That is what America is supposed to be founded on. We had this kind of shit happen during the Revolutionary War, where family members were kidnapped, abducted, beaten, abused, sent to foreign overseas areas, which they'd never lived before, by a mad king. And we had a revolution over that. And all these MAGA pedophiles, they're like, oh, but the Founding Fathers this, Founding Fathers that. The Founding Fathers, right now, if they were back alive, they would nut kick you, curb stomp you, pull your fucking hair out, and spit in your fucking mouth. That's what the Founding Fathers would do to you. These kids locked up in ICE breaks my heart. Well, Kitty, that's why I was talking about, this is why the Prairieland 7 were doing what they were doing. That's why the Prairieland 7 are fucking heroes, because they were the ones standing up and fighting against this.
Mr. Vice President, she's 7 years old.
Sure.
Any of your kids could be 7 years old.
Sure.
What would you tell Valentina?
Well, first of all, this is a very heartbreaking letter, and I don't know enough about Valentina's circumstances, but we want Valentina to have a good life. And one of the reasons why we've pursued the immigration policies that we've had is...
See, that's a hard pivot. Again, they can't talk about the facts that you're locking up 7-year-old kids. This is not an isolated incident, by the way. This happens all the time. They can't talk about the facts, so he's got to pivot to why they're doing it. Because terrorists, because lawbreakers, because pedophiles, while he wears fucking eyeliner and serves an actual pedophile.
That if you saw under the last administration, there were tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of girls like Valentina who were brought into the country. Some of them were sex trafficked.
Sex trafficked, huh? Hey, Vance, JD, Little J, anybody in your regime maybe have some experience with sex trafficking? Is there anybody that you work with that's ever known a sex trafficker? Does anyone in your regime have pictures of people with sex traffickers? Now, let me go further. Does anyone in your regime give sweetheart deals to the right-hand agents of sex traffickers and are now sitting in a comfortable jail cell? Is there anyone like that, JD? I gotta tell you, this gets me so frustrated when I know this is Univision, so I would think they would push a little bit harder, but anytime they're gonna talk about sex trafficking, about pedophiles, why are journalists not asking about the Epstein files? I'm sorry, you are not doing journalism at that point, you are doing stenography. My homeboy Patrick Henry would kick their asses. I think there's a lot of founding fathers that would. George Washington would take his fucking wooden teeth out and bite them on the dick.
Some of them were living in the shadows. Some of them were unable to access basic things like food and medicine.
They still can't. You have them in ICE Nazi concentration camps where they still can't. And then they're getting raped by the ICE Nazis, and these 12, 10, 11-year-old girls are turning out pregnant. Because you're raping them, JD. His eyeliner is heavy for this interview. Gender-affirming care. Yeah, that is some serious GAC he's got going on. Also, he has this shit trimmed, so that's GAC right there, too. Hey, shaving kits or gender-affirming care, people. You heard it here first.
Now, here's the problem. Anytime you have, let's say, you deport a person, and everybody agrees this person should be deported. Let's say it's a violent criminal with convictions, but sometimes that person is going to have family. And the difficulty with any immigration enforcement policy is that you're going to have cases where you just have heartbreaking circumstances like that. What happens to an innocent child who did nothing wrong, but their parents being deported? Sometimes, even though it's not always easy, the right answer is going to be to ensure that that child can go back to their family in the country of origin. Maybe not always, but certainly sometimes.
They don't even live in that country. They've never even been to that country. Many of the people of this generation that these ICE Nazis are deported have never been to the country that they're going to.
And what we're trying to do is just handle this stuff case by case and do as good as we can by everybody, including the American people who really suffered when we had this wide open border in the last administration.
But is there a way to guarantee that the kids are not going to be in detention centers for months at a time?
Oh, we certainly don't want kids to be in detention centers for months at a time. We're just trying to make sure that each kid has the outcome that's best for them. And some of these kids, even though, again, immigration enforcement can sometimes be a messy process, sometimes the best thing for these children is going to be to go back to an aunt or an uncle or a grandparent in their country of origin. We really do try to handle this. I mean, I don't know enough about little Valentina's circumstances, of course, but what we try to do is...
This is a letter.
I'm sorry, this interview was fucking awful. This interviewer was fucking terrible. I got to actually comment on this. This is fucking unbelievable. It's getting my nerd rage on. Where's the Trump Epstein gif? Oh, come on. Did they remove it from the GIF libraries? This is fucking ridiculous. I think they removed it. Wow. Fucking losers. They removed the Trump Epstein gif. Unbelievable. Wait, is it my frequently used? Fucking stupid. Jesus, the censorship. Holy crap. This is insane. This interviewer was fucking awful. I'm sorry, but everything... This is why fascism is able to spread in America, because they're just able to talk. And these interviewers take them at good face value when they have been proven habitual liars and backstabbers and also pedophiles and terrorists, but she just let them yap. She just let JD yap with a bunch of horse shit, spewing their talking points that have absolutely no bearing in fucking reality. This is just an awful, awful fucking interview, and this person should frankly never work in the industry again. Wow, what a disgrace to journalism. Anyway, moving on to the reflecting pool. Well, I locked them up going a year now, yeah. Like, what the fuck are they putting in there? What is that shit? Like, this is the kind of stuff, like, the MAGA right is all crazy about chemtrails. Chemtrails! It's obviously it's population control, right? The chemtrails, they fly these planes up high, right? And they dump them down, and then all these chemicals they get on my skin, and then my skin absorbs it, right? It just kind of takes it all in, and then it goes down to my balls, and now I'm infertile. Now I can't have kids. What's this all about? You know, that's what the MAGA is all about. They would say, who do you think I'm impersonating? The guy says, they're turning the frickin' frogs gay. They would see this, and they would lose their fucking mind back in the day. But now they see this and like, you know what? I think it's okay. I think it's totally fine. I think I am totally in line with the lizard people on this one. I think we should dump we should dump the remains of Chernobyl into the reflecting pool. That'll keep the liberals away from there at least. This is insane that we see this shit and it's not even a story. It's not even a story. It's not even an issue. The Trump administration has rolled out AI-powered surveillance cameras with motion tracking, facial recognition, spotlights, and horn speakers. We are in the fascist hellscape dystopia. Pool chemicals called shock. Are you sure that's what it is? I haven't seen that reported anywhere. It's ridiculous. All of this taxpayer money for all this shit just because they don't follow the science. And then lo and behold, the shit they were trying to fix comes back with a fucking vengeance. Wow. Who could have seen that coming? Algae 2, the sequel. Tagline, they didn't listen to science, so we fucked with your tax dollars. Like, this is just stupid. What a complete waste of money because people don't want to listen to fucking science. So then Trump, being, you know, the pedophile, narcissist, liar that he is, says this.
No, but the water looks great. But we will do the final fix-up. But just remember this. They took razor blades 350 feet. Coming from where he comes, they don't do that. They took, maybe a little bit. They took razor blades and knives, and they cut patches like that. 350 feet long. A lot of them are like a foot, a foot, a foot. They cut the lining. And there's pictures of the guy bending over. I don't know if anybody saw that, but there are pictures of the...
Of course he's going to go to that. Trump is one of the more closeted than J.D. Vance. I swear to God. Like, Mike Pence may have been in the closet, but if Mike Pence were in the White House now, he would go in there to throw his jacket in the closet, and J.D. would be like, oh, sorry, I'm here. And then Trump would be like, J.D., move, you're blocking my space, because they're both in there. This is fucking insane.
And you say, who would do that? Maybe it's Trump derangement syndrome. You know, we fixed over 50 fountains and monuments in the city. The city is the safest it's ever been, ever. No.
So, I mean, yeah, of course he's going to blame it. Who's going to drag a razor blade 350 feet? You know how long that's going to take in this length of a fucking pool? Yeah, that shit ain't easy. You're also going to have actual equipment, either snorkeling or scuba of some kind. I think the pool is about 3-4 feet deep. So you're going to have to dive down there. And also, you know, you're going to be buoyant. Your body's going to be trying to float up. So you're going to be like this. You're going to be like, dive down. Okay, I'm going to start. Oh, shit, my ass is up. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Damn it, I can't cut anymore. I gotta go back down. Okay, wait. Okay, now I gotta go further. Fuck, I've only got 2 inches in the last 30 seconds. Fuck, this is gonna take forever. It's just, I don't even know if it's physically possible without getting caught. Jared B9598 says, weird or obsessed with gayness here? You know that Trump is the one calling Mamdani handsome, right? He's saying he's a beautiful man. He's saying that about UFC fighters. And now he's talking about seeing people's ass cheeks. And you're talking about me being obsessed with gayness? Do you know how fucking far in the closet J.D. Vance is, for Christ's sake? He makes Mike Pence look like a womanizer. That's how far in the closet J.D. Vance is. Anyway, we added another MAGA pedophile. Jared B9598, MAGA pedophile. Note him. See him. Check his hard drive. So this is what actually happened. This is not a razor blade, okay? This is not a razor blade. This is clearly piss poor work done through a combination of heat and elements and fucking shitty gel that made this stuff crack and air bubbles get in there and then it goes up, which is exactly what this person's saying. Antifa secret agents used a box cutter to cut a pattern in the reflecting pool to make it look like the sealant bubbled up as a result of poor application, workmanship, and planning. Diabolical. I mean, to look at this and say, oh yeah, razor blade. That's clearly an Antifa razor blade. Yep, we called it. You know how fucking stupid you'd have to be? I bet this would go so hard if you were fucking idiotic. So this is TMZ.
What's up, everyone? I'm coming to you from the Park Police
It's
headquarters.
a little
The reason why
umbrella.
I'm here is
Did you see that?
What's up, everyone? I'm coming to you from...
Like he's the penguin meets Mary Poppins. This is ridiculous. What is up, everyone? I am here at the reflecting pool. Yoink.
the Park Police headquarters. The reason why I'm here is because Trump told reporters yesterday, if you want to get evidence of the 350-foot slit in the Lincoln reflecting pool that's been the reason for all this mess, that you could come to the Parks Department and they will show it to you. I was calling them this morning, met with no answers, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to go in person. Turns out this facility is in the middle of nowhere. The weather right now is awful.
Bro, your umbrella.
My
Get your umbrella.
umbrella's blowing away right now, but screw it. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see this slit. So I came here. I was ringing the doorbell. No one was answering until finally I was met with a secretary who came out and gave me this pink note card with the PIO's email on it. So I'm still left with no answers. And President Trump, who said that the Parks Department will show you the evidence, is wrong. They're either not listening to him or there is no 350-foot slit as far as we know.
There you go.
So far, there is no evidence.
This is what Trump does every single time. He takes a situation that, does not need his help. He goes in, makes it worse, and then he blames it on other people. And then when we try to follow up and get verification, it turns out it's all fucking horseshit. And the media just goes with it. I'll say this. TMZ is actually doing some good journalisming.
What's up, everyone? I'm coming to you.
Which I never would have thought that I would say, given their history. But they are really rocking it right now. And lo and behold, Trump says vandals hit the reflecting pool. Internal documents raises doubts. Officials knew the $16.4 million reflecting pool renovation was peeling and turning green earlier than they acknowledged. Government documents obtained by the New York Times show that as workers were attempting to address deteriorating conditions, Trump administration officials were insisting publicly that the pool was pristine. There you have it. Of course, it was always bullshit. It was always bullshit. And this is why Trump is doing it. Because he's losing. Oops, can't see that on the vertical stream. 31%. He's losing. He's way behind every single measurable metric. People hate him. He's losing special elections. So he has to make up some bullshit. But Antifa doing this, Antifa that, my Auntie Tifa. Makes great cookies, people. We love them. Chocolate chip. I prefer oatmeal raisin, but I'm oatmeal raisin is the best, but we won't talk about that. And he has to just throw red meat to his audience to keep them hooked. Keep them hooked on the fucking copamine, They got to get their smack of copamine from the latest Antifa hits. Crazy that we have a kid from TMZ doing investigative journalism. Yeah, I know, Kitty. Okay, so I'm not even, this is obviously, this says it all. Trump made up bullshit about Antifa ruining the reflecting pond when it's really just him hiring the wrong fucking people. Your facts are as fucked up as your grasp of reality. Thanks, Adam Frisbee. So what are you disputing exactly? Are you disputing the internal documents where Trump admits that they already knew that the pool was fucking up before they made up this 350-foot slit? Hey, Adams, I'm sure you can find the 350-foot slit, right? You've got pictures of it. Because actually, Adams, I know where the 350-foot slit. It's your mom's cunt. Go ahead, Adams. I'm sure you got facts to back up your bullshit, right? So we already see this. And then, of course, this is why, the duck died because who knows what the fuck is going in here. So now we move on to everyone's most hated country.
Chevalier Meinhof,
pause,
or whatever her name.
I don't know why this shit doesn't pause. So now we move on to everyone's least favorite country, Jisrael. And Eli Lake is having an absolute freak out. I love this for him.
Chevalier Meinhof, or whatever her name is.
Wow, good burn, dude.
She, on October 8th, was at the rally celebrating October 7th. She was there cheering it on. This was not a matter of no comment. This wasn't.
He literally has to make up fake news. She was at an event on October 8th, hoping and praying that this would not lead to a genocide of the Palestinian people. And you know what? She was fucking right to be there. Fuck this Nazi-loving pedophile piece of shit.
Even Mamdani, he wasn't the next day. And even her, so she was there, and when she's asked about it, would you condemn Hamas, which should be the easiest thing in the world, given...
Even his co-hosts don't give a fuck. Look at them. They're on their phones. They're just waiting for this fat fuck to be done talking. Like, Jesus Christ, it's Eli Lake again? God damn it. Oh, I hate this bald bitch. We have to listen to him some more? Fuck me.
Who they are, given the fact that Hamas torments Palestinians, shoots Palestinians' alleged collaborators in the kneecaps, won't do it. She will not.
Yeah, what does Israel do to Hamas? What does Israel do to Palestinians, Eli? So if Hamas is bad for doing that, Israel must be just as bad. Right, Eli?
Disparage her revolutionary brothers and sisters. That is insane to me. I mean, and you add that with Adam Hamawi in New Jersey, who was a character witness for the Blind Sheikh, who was the implicate in his trial on the first World Trade Center bombing. And you look at the direction.
He was at his trial because he was called under oath to talk about it, you fucking lying fraud. And then if he hadn't shown up at the court, he would have been like, oh, well, he could have, he must be supporting terrorism because he didn't show up for the court. I mean, there's no winning with these fat fucking Zionist pedophiles.
These new DSA socialists who are taking over the Democratic Party. Jamie Kirchick is...
Look at how checked out all of them are. I swear to God, they have like a timer on their screen just until this fucking loser stops yapping.
Correct when he says the DSA hates the Democrats more than they hate the Trumpists and the Republicans. It's a 5-alarm emergency. This is a catastrophe.
So he's trying to say it's a catastrophe for Jewish people and Israel, which he always conflates the two, not necessarily in this video, but in other ones. So it's funny how Jews are the ones that think there is a genocide being committed by Israel in Gaza. Yeah. So he's literally going against what, if you want to go there, what Jewish people are thinking is against what Eli Lake is believing. Rufus is pissed at me. He wants to go for his walk. Crazy Life, welcome. And then on top of that, he says nothing about this shit. This past week, Jesse Waters referred to the Jewish question and said Trump Vance are sending a message to the Jews. This past week, 3 anti-genocide Dems, including a Jewish Dem, won New York City primaries. Guess which of these two the media is focused on as proof of rising anti-Semitism? It's always bullshit. They have to claim anti-Semitism because they can't talk the facts, which are that Israel is a Zionist pedophile state that is killing, murdering, and raping and committing a genocide in Gaza right fucking now. Oops. Hang on. Decouple. Roger Teller, D1K says decouple and prosecute Israel. Absolutely. There, even if, like, everyone is now trying, I think I have a video later on this, but they're trying to pivot to blame Netanyahu. Even Brad Lander is saying it. They're trying to pivot and blame Netanyahu. It doesn't matter. You can blame Netanyahu all you want. You can remove Netanyahu. Israel is still going to be a genocidal pedophile state because that is what their legislature believes in doing. That is what their media believe in doing. That is what the population surveyed believes in doing. They believe rape and genocide are fine against Palestinians. That is what's in the culture of the country, fomented by the government. Even the most left-wing person against Netanyahu agrees in the genocide against Palestinians. You have to completely get away from Israel. There is no changing that. Genocide started in 47, as far as I can tell. I'm not knowledgeable about the history, but I understand that obviously 47 was a big factor. I don't have to be a big knowledge buff about the history to look at the fucking footage, to hear children getting shot in the head, little boys being shot in the balls, and women being shot while they're pregnant in the belly, to know that that's a genocide. Yes, Roger cut the funding. Absolutely. I'm in South Carolina. Normally I'd vote Republican, but Lindsey Graham got to go. Well, Roger, I don't. If you're voting Republican, Republicans are the ones that are backing Israel, by and large. They're the ones. There are Democrats that are doing it too. Don't get me wrong. But there is a fight among the Democrats to change that. You don't see that on the right. They still want to back Israel. So as long as you're supporting the Republicans, I don't know what else is important to you policy-wise, but if it's Israel, Republicans are not the way to go. Reed Connor 6. Han F. Jack Shop, welcome. So, this is what we are fighting against.
I've personally operated on a number of children who have described very clearly being targeted by quadcopters or drones.
Can you tell us what a quadcopter is? Because when I saw this report yesterday, it comes up many, many times, these quadcopters.
Yes, so these are drones. So there were surveillance drones prior to October 2023 over Gaza. Now, as well as the surveillance drones, you have these drones which fire on people. They drop explosives, they fire bullets, and they fire small pellets which cause a huge amount of damage, particularly in children, and in fact are illegal under international law.
And the children that you operated on, what did they tell you these quadcopters did? What was
So I can remember one child, for example, who was 7, Amir, who described very clearly that a bomb was dropped. He was knocked over by the blast. He was in a group of tents. And then he heard a drone above him, turned round, and then it fired on him. And we had many, many reports like that from children and adults.
The children you operated on, what did they tell you these quadcopters did? So this is what the Zionists are trying to say is anti-Semitic to oppose. One child who was 7 who described a bomb was dropped. He was knocked over by the blast. He heard a drone above him, turned around, then it fired on him. We have many reports like that. This is what the Zionists are trying to call anti-Semitic for being against. And this is the danger, because then you get being anti-genocide, anti-Semitic, and then being anti-Israel, anti-Semitic, which is what the Nazis want, because they want every awful thing that is ever done by a Jewish, the same way that Der Stürmer back in the 30s would report on things done by Jewish people and label them as evil, just like what the DHS tweets are doing now with immigrants and with Muslims, and they try to conflate them as one and the same. There is a big difference between Judaism and Zionism, and right now, people like Eli Lake are trying to conflate the two, and you're going to have serious fucking problems, because you cannot stand here and say that this is good and then say that Zionism is good. Oh, Rough Frame, the MAGA pedophile is back. He says, should I start naming teenage girls' names? Well, you would know a lot of teenage girls since you are a pedophile, Rough Frame. Let's see. I'm a conservative person ideologically. I'm going to vote against my normal tendency because I'm sick of my senator going on Fox News and volunteering my daughter to die for Israel. This should be an easy win for Democrats, but they're making it difficult because so many of them are also owned by the Zionist Army. Yeah, Roger Teller, you don't got to tell me. You don't got to tell me, Roger. Believe me, I'm fighting against the fucking establishment every goddamn day. And look, dude, you may be voting Republican, but where'd you say, in North Carolina? Or is it South? Yeah, Lindsey Graham's South Carolina, right? You may be against Israel, but I'll tell you another thing. You probably, since you got a kid, you probably want that kid to have health care, right? You probably want that kid to have a living wage. You probably want that kid to not live in a world where water is rationed because the AI data center next door is taking everything. So, Roger, I got to tell you, brother, you really got to rethink being for the Republicans, because all the Republicans is trying to make the world less safe for your daughter. The January 6th terrorists have gone on to rape children, to rape women, to beat their wives. So, yeah, you hear you. Okay, I'll stop. Just saying. I'm getting my talking points out there, brother. I'm saying what I gotta say. Yeah, Working Families Party, Kitty Crystal is a good place to start. Okay, moving on. IDF soldiers shot a 16-year-old boy and then ran over his body with a tank, mutilating it. A 15-year-old boy holding a white flag and his brother, who came to his rescue, as well as their mother, were shot by .338 caliber Israeli sniper rounds from 200 meters away. This is what we are funding. This is what we are funding. We are funding the murder of teenage boys overseas rather than funding health care here in America. Rather than funding health care, rather than funding transportation, rather than funding the goddamn airport controllers so we can keep planes from falling out the fucking skies, we're funding bombs and bullets to murder 16 and 15-year-old boys holding white flags. Fuck this government. Fuck the Zionists. Fuck the corporate democratic establishment for supporting all of this. Take every single one of these Nazis and put them all in Nuremberg. I don't care if they're Republican. I don't care if they're Democrat. I don't care if they're apolitical. Anybody that supports this belongs in Nuremberg. Every single one of them.
There has been a lot of support on the left for Abdul El Sayed. He's been endorsed by Hassan Piker, who has millions of followers on social media. mainly people under the age of 30. I mention this because he is a very controversial figure. And in March, you compared him to white supremacist Nick Fuentes. Now, Piker spoke to Detroit Public Radio about that yesterday. I want you to take a listen and respond.
There's so much diversity of choice in where people can get their news from, so people can come to me directly and figure out what I'm actually about. So that was one of the reasons why that smear campaign failed spectacularly. People started looking at Abdul's campaign. People started hearing what he was saying, and they liked it. And lo and behold, he was in third place before this smear campaign started, and now he's comfortably in first place.
I want to give you a chance to respond to that.
Certainly. There's a responsibility for whoever we nominate as our next U.S. Senator to recognize we have to build and expand a big tent. My opponent.
It's amazing how the establishment is always talking about a big tent, which never includes leftists. It'll include war criminals like Liz Cheney, who want to torture people and bomb states or countries overseas, but it never is in favor of leftists who want fucking rainbows and sunshine for everybody. Never involves us. But hey, Liz Cheney, get over here. Oh, Liz, you little war criminal, you. Oh, Liz, we've missed you. We've missed your talk about waterboarding so much.
It made a decision to bring in Hassan shortly after there was an attack on a synagogue here in Michigan where a man drove a pickup truck into a synagogue where 140 preschoolers were at school that day. And had it not been for the security measures, the bollards in place, it could have been the largest mass killing of kids in this country's history. And to bring somebody in to represent your campaign, in my mind, is a very different decision than going on somebody's stream and talking to their audience.
This is an unbelievably disgraceful attack by Mallory Morrow and is completely fucking disqualifying. She's basically saying that because Abdul Sayed brought Hassan Piker on, that he is now responsible for the terrorist attack. This is fucking horseshit. Abdul Sayed was a fucking doctor. How the fuck is he responsible for a terrorist attack at a synagogue? She is a complete fucking disgrace. And again, Hassan, let's listen to what he was talking about.
He was in third place. Smear campaign failed.
He was talking about the smear campaign that Mallory McMurrow was trying to push on him and Abdul Sayed, which backfired and catapulted him from third to first. So what does McMurrow do? She doubles down on the smear campaign and Islamophobia. This fucking hag cannot be primaried out of existence fast enough. Holy shit, the chat popped off. Let me see. What did I miss? That Tomahawk missile killed 100-plus schoolgirls on day one of the bombing when they should have had the best intelligence about their targets. Well, I mean, Israel does have the best intelligence. That's specifically why they're able to target civilians and little girls and hospitals and schools, because their intelligence is so good and they just fire indiscriminately. It is an intentional targeting. It's heartbreaking to hear these murders. Yes, I agree, Roger. War crimes don't hide the pedo crimes. In Manab, yeah, it's horrible. I mean, they've killed so many more civilians than were killed on 10/7. Also correct. When will they be satisfied when Greater Israel is created? Well, they're trying to do Greater Israel right now, aren't they? I can't swing all the way left in my principles, but I can definitely vote against my side because they need to know what I will abandon them for, what they have done. Respect, Roger Teller. Hey, I'll give you this, Roger. I've had to do the same thing. There are a lot of things. There were a lot of times when I would have voted for the Democrats, and I have specifically voted not or have sat out elections. So I get it. We're there. This is a crazy time where both parties are failing us. DOJ dismantled the department dealing with civilian casualties because they don't care. It goes against the Geneva Convention. Yeah, that's the truth. Alabama anarchist 7420. We need more DSA members in the Democratic Party. We need, to be fair, Alabama, I agree with you, but I want to say we have a big problem here with DSA LA. DSA LA is notoriously anti-black. They are also notoriously centrist at running as these leftist and progressive candidates who then do absolutely fuck all when they get in charge. So, yes, we need more DSA members, but we need good DSA members. Yeah, if you told me they went to kill those kids, I'd believe it. Yeah, right. Cal Isaac, welcome. Okay, my TikTok live stream is being restricted. What else is new? Being against genocide should bring people together. We can put other differences aside in order to unite against Israel lobby. One would think, Roger. One would think. Hassan Piker says, so if you're horrified by U.S. munitions being used to murder children in Gaza, Mallory Murrow thinks you're responsible for attacks against synagogues? How is this any different than what MAGA says about us? He's 100% correct. And again, you can't say it's anti-Semitism when the Jewish people themselves are the one leading the charge. Brad Lander and Mika Lasher are Jewish New Yorkers being sent to Congress by Jewish New Yorkers. And non-Jewish, non-New Yorkers seem to have a real problem with that allegedly on behalf of Jewish New Yorkers. The logic is just insane. So here's Lander. Democrat voters are saying loud and clear they don't want to pay for any more of Netanyahu's wars. Again, this is what I was talking about earlier. Roger, it might have been for you or someone else in the chat. But they're trying to pivot and push everything on Netanyahu, but that's not going to change the fact, because if you get rid of Netanyahu, the next person in line is also going to support the genocide. So now we're talking with Maha getting played. Supreme Court rejects lawsuit alleging Roundup weed killer caused cancer. So Maha, RFK Jr. shit. Zen Honeycutt, what kind of a name is that? Holy shit, Zen Honeycutt. I am very zen. I am very zen. Bees! Bees! Honeybees! Founder of Moms Across America and an advocate for the Maha movement on Thursday called the decision worse than treason and said it reflected a betrayal of President Trump's... what's going on? Oh, I think my TikTok just got banned. Oh no, my TikTok just got banned. Fuck TikTok. Owned by the Ellison pedophiles. And said it reflected a betrayal to President Trump's promises to the Maha movement. It really is chemical warfare on the American people. Wow. The leopards eating faces party strike again. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Israel lobby purchased Kentucky's 4th district. They ousted Massey by buying that seat. Yes, that's right. That's right. And they're going to keep doing it, and that's why we have to stop them. So this really does sound like the Hunger Games to me.
If you like fireworks, then in August we're going to have what's called the Patriot Games, a first of its kind competition featuring the greatest high school athletes from all across the United States. And applications are open through July 10th. These are the best athletes in the country, young athletes. And soon, if you like fireworks.
Not the plot of the Hunger Games, right? 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 It should be very easy to beat Lindsey Graham, you would think, but so many voters in South Carolina are old boomers. Well, that's also why Lindsey Graham is attached to Trump like a boil on his ass, because he does not want to get primaried.
You're going to appear in all sorts of people's ads, all sorts of Republicans' ads to say, this is what you're going to get if you vote for the Democrats, a communist.
I think that framing is one that I've been very proud to be able to say I don't respond to, one in which I have been very intentional to say I won't be reactive. We are presenting a vision of what we're fighting for, and I think for far too long we have had politics that is reactive to what Republicans are doing. What we need is Democrats who are actually going to present a positive vision, one that sets the tone for what we should be talking about, which is the issue of affordability, which is the issue of how our budgets are moral documents. If we say that we want to invest in working people in this country, then we need to do that, and our budgets need to reflect that. If we say that we value immigration and immigration justice, we need to make sure that that is also reflective in our policy. And so I'm very proud of a campaign that we built that centers those ideals, that centers those values and that vision for what we need as a community. And that's how I'll continue to move forward in Congress. And I think that for far too long, this reactive conversation of what we should be afraid of has prevented us from being able to have a politics of hope and a politics of life that Democrats can actually identify with. When the majority of the Democratic base has been seeking for the Democratic Party to act.
Yeah, she's a good speaker. I mean, it's not I'm a very different person, so it's not the answer that I would give, but like they're going to call everyone a communist. They've called they called Joe Biden a communist, for Christ's sake, who is the most pro-capitalist, market-driven Democrat that I think is currently alive today. So to call anyone a communist, it just doesn't matter because it doesn't have any fucking meaning anymore. You love her? Yeah, she's good cutie lifestyle. Average voting age is like 50. 70 voters share the old white people who don't even know the difference between AI and reality. Yeah, you probably see that a lot on their Facebook. Only care about their 401ks. Blind on all as long as their precious 401k is doing okay. Well, the cost of living is going to change how their 401k does. So we already covered this. The Supreme Court just blocked thousands of lawsuits claiming Roundup causes cancer. The court sided with chemical giant Monsanto, ruling that federal law preempts cancer victims from bringing these lawsuits in state courts where most of the claims are filed. So yet again, this is the kind of stuff that used to trigger MAGA. They're all about the chemtrails. They're all about the water and the chemicals in the water turning the frickin' frogs gay. But then when it comes to Roundup in crops, literally causing cancer. I see no problem with it. I'm fine with it as long as I got a healthy serving of boot to lick. I'm good. I just need all the boot. I need my steak boot every single. I need it. I need my steak boot in a smoothie format so I can take it while I am in my RV. That's what I need. While I'm driving through the wilderness that are all polluted and taken over by AI data centers, I gotta have my smoothie boots so that I can just lick the shit out of them. That's MAGA right now. Supreme Court allows Trump to end temporary protections for Haitians and Syrians. Again, there has never been a better reason to pack the courts than seeing these kind of decisions. Literally allowing companies to give you cancer. Why would you not pack the courts at this point? Why? Oh, I've got so much to cover, but I am running out of time. And yet they love Putin. Make that make sense? Yeah, I don't know. Show what the priorities are with that ruling on the Roundup case. Yeah, exactly. I have so much more to cover. I don't have time for all this stuff with Mamdani. I always do this. Maybe I can... Okay, let me do this. Let me close this stuff, and I'm going to come back to this stuff tomorrow. Ah! Come back to this stuff tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to come back to this stuff. We'll come back to this. Come back to this. So I do want to cover this stuff because it wouldn't be one of my streams if I wasn't covering the latest stories of MAGA pedophiles. So here we have
Excuse
Ken
me, Mr. Paxton. What do you think about Adam Hoffman? Why'd you get a plea deal for a child sex predator? Do you have anything to say about that? Should he be registered as a pedophile in the state of Texas? A sex offender?
Step back. Step back.
What do you have to say to Adam Hoffman, the victim of Adam Hoffman? Mr. Paxton, what do you have to say?
Guilty as sin, brother. So fucking guilty. Roger Taylor, thanks for the discussion information. Fuck these pedos. Absolutely, brother. I mean, this is also really good that Tallarico is using this. This needs to be an issue on the campaign trail. Ken Paxton let a pedophile back on our streets. He gave Adam Hoffman an admitted child predator an Epstein-style sweetheart deal. Texans deserve answers. Release the Hoffman files. I mean, I would go even further. Do you want to live next to this pedophile? If you don't, why would you vote for Ken Paxton? What is Ken Paxton doing in his spare time that makes him sympathize with pedophiles like that? I would go even further. And, of course, here's Elon Musk doing weird-ass Elon Musk things. He is so high. He's so goddamn cringe. He really is he's the cringe kid that thinks he's cool, you know? He does everything wrong for technically the right people. It's a positive crowd, and it just comes off as weird and creepy and cringe. You can see why even Jeffrey Epstein didn't want to be around him. Yeah, he's fucking weird, man. And he's high off his fucking... He's closer to Mars right now on the drugs that he's on than he'll ever get with his rockets. So fucking cringe, yeah. Texas, please don't send him to the Senate. One can hope. Republican Benton County Treasurer Richard Reno used Grindr to send nude photos of himself to a 14-year-old boy. He admitted to investigators he'd used the app to talk to minors for nearly a decade. So, first of all, why in the hell is Grindr allowing minors on the app? That's a fucking problem. But, I mean, it goes everywhere, right? Like, the porn sites have CSAM on there. That's popped up. And, of course, the other Tinder, was it Bumble? It was either Bumble or Hinge had minors on there because, you know, they can fake their name and their birth date and stuff. So it's not entirely the app's fault, but there does need to be something to be done because these things are not one-offs, right? And also, why is this not in the mainstream news? Where is this reported? This is local news reporting this. Local news. Why is this not in the New York Times? If this was a trans person, this would be in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, ABC, CBS, did I sorry say New York Times? It'd be everywhere. It'd be Washington Post. It'd be everywhere. And yet we keep seeing these things happen. A Republican pastor has been arrested after distributing porn to a minor. Source local news, not national. A Republican school board member is under fire after calling a student hot and making physical advances on them. He has now been charged with assault. This is from USA Today. Okay, fine. First big news outlet covering it. Utah Republican Party paid a firm $4.3 million to falsify the signatures of dead people. The election fraud was conducted in an attempt to legalize gerrymandering in Utah. We found it. We got him. We found the election fraud. All right, case closed. We no longer need any election laws. We don't need any more voter ID. We don't need any biometric scanning. We don't need any more real ID. We found them, and the people behind the election fraud was a Republican. We got him. Game over, folks. It's done. That turkey is cooked. A Republican governor commuted the sentence of Mark Milk, who was in prison for murder. He has now been rearrested for sexually trafficking and drugging his 14-year-old niece. Yet again, Republicans. Republican South Democratic State Senator Tom Pischke has been charged with 2 felony counts of election fraud. He forged 16 forms putting people on the ballot without their knowledge. A Republican judge has been caught talking to little kids about his dark fantasies and sending them explicit pictures of himself. He has been sentenced to 15 years in prison. You know what I didn't see in any of these? A fucking drag queen. You know what I didn't see in any of these? A fucking Muslim or brown immigrant. Didn't see a single fucking one. Crazy. Anyway, on to happier things. I'm really loving this clip.
Where'd you go?
Trying to butter you up.
There you are. Claire, where'd you go? Claire, she must have gone back up the stairs. Claire. Oh, I guess I'll go back upstairs. Wait a second. You get back here, little lady. Where'd she go? She must have gone back up the stairs. I must bend to my books. It's a good thing she's not Wait a second. Claire, return your books to the library. Where'd she go?
God,
Well, I guess I'll get back to the shelves and attend to my keeping of books. Wait a second! Get back here! You need to return your copy of 101 Magic Tricks to do it! Where'd you go? Oh, dang it. Oh, no, this is a game of mental ping pong. Am I having a panic attack? Claire, there you are! I found you after searching for so long!
On fire.
I love clips like this. This shit is so funny. Like, I don't know exactly how they go about the acting of it because it's clearly too. It must be. I don't know if they dubbed it. It didn't sound like it was dubbed. It sounded like it was like voice proxy chat or something. Maybe it was dubbed. I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe that was actually it. It probably was just a clip they did, and then they probably dubbed the voices and then edited it. But that shit cracks me up every single time that I see it. Holy shit! Chat popped off. Wait, isn't a Republican that's pushing the release of the files, though? Yeah, that was Thomas Massie, who now, of course, has been ousted because Trump doesn't want the Epstein files out. Green, Mason, Massie. Yeah, and also Ro Khanna and a couple other Democrats have signed on to it. AOC has signed on to it. The Squad, you know, Rashida Tlaib, Jayapal, etc. Oh, Mentally Me, we have a mega pedophile. Mentally underscore me says, I came across the beta mail page. This is what you want to do if you don't want to get any pussy. Says the guy who's in my chat at 6:20 in the evening. Brother, the only pussy you get is from an anatomy book. Don't come in here yapping like you're getting anything when you're literally a MAGA pedophile. You're more cringe than Elon Musk. You make Elon Musk look like James Bond. That's how fucking cringe you are, little dude. All right, what else did I miss? I mean, a lot of them are voting against the release, but the ones pushing it are Republicans, Mace, Massey, and Green, right? Yeah, they're pushing. They're pushing it. They're pushing it out. They're pushing the Epstein files out. The pedos are on both sides of the aisle, right? Row. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's definitely. Well, I mean, Bill Gates for one was talking about he was getting blackmailed and he's in the Epstein files. Bill Clinton is in the Epstein files as well. I'm not sure the veracity of the accusation. There only seems to be one, which isn't necessarily super credible, but that doesn't mean it doesn't need investigation. We need to get to the bottom of it. And Row on the Squad, like you said. Yeah, there's others that I can't think of at the moment. I actually do think Hakeem Jeffries backed the release of the Epstein file. I think he did push the caucus in the House to do so, if I remember correct, but I'd have to look at the voting records. Okay, this is... Okay, wait.
Boom! Hey, mate, look at that. I don't know, what is that? Boom! Oh, hey! Now, you really want to impress me, do it with a chicken nugget, then I... Behind your ear, mate, look at that. I don't know, what is that? Boom! Oh, hey! Now, you really want to impress me, do it with a chicken nugget, then I... Behind your ear, mate, look at that. I don't know, what is that? Boom! Oh, hey! Now, you really want to impress me, do it with a chicken nugget, then I...
I love that facial expression. Oh, man. Bill Gates and Nancy Fauci are the only two people still pushing zoonotic spillover of COVID-19. No, that'd actually be the entire scientific community. Zoonotic spillover is the consensus. There is even less evidence than there ever has been about a biolab leak. Oh, this is a good one.
You want to cook crystal meth? You want to cook crystal meth?
Because you got to do it. Even if you can afford the house, doesn't mean you can afford the neighborhood. No, it's not, dude. Google Robert Redford. Oh, Roger Teller, come on. You're going down a conspiracy nut job hole. I ain't doing that shit. The consistent findings of the scientific community is that COVID-19 was a zoonotic spillover from a wet market. We have seen more and more evidence of that than there ever has been of a biolab. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you all. As usual, Kitty, pleasure to